Gentlemen True, and welcome to my Let's Play Star Trek Online on the PS4. I am the Rigby82, and this is part 89 of my Romulan Republic Federation Aligned Tactical Officer playthrough. We're about to undertake the very first mission in the future-proof story arc, and the mission called Sunrise, where we're going to go and investigate an unknown system near Ferenginar, which has a star that's emitting some unusual readings. Now I'm going to hail for the mission, and we need to head to Deep Space Nine to pick up a stellar scientist who's going to go and who wants to poke her nose around the system to find out what's going wrong with the star. So I'm going to hail for the mission, and then we'll get the show on the road.
The Iconian War is finally over, and we can concentrate once more on securing the future of the Romulan Republic. We've recently learned that an unexplored star system near Ferenginar has suddenly become unstable. Nobody seems to know why the star is dying. In the interest of exploration and expansion of the Republic's knowledge, and potentially its borders, I want you to head there and see what you can learn. To secure our future, we will need resources and allies. Turning our ships toward exploration is the best way to find both.
So let's accept. We received instructions to pick up a stellar phenomena specialist, a Cardassian scientist by the name of Tana Zaval. She's currently at Deep Space Nine. We can beam her directly aboard from the station. Noted. We'll pick up the specialist when we reach Deep Space Nine. That's why we're currently lingering over here. We need to head into Deep Space Nine, which is a bit of a pain in the arse because it means I'll go into a loading screen, pick up the scientist, come back and out of a loading screen. Now I don't mind visiting Deep Space Nine. Deep Space Nine is my most favourite location in Star Trek Online. I mean, I love this place, particularly after it got updated to make it look like actually from the show. So we'll pop in, beam her up, and leave.
Thank you for the pickup. I'm Tana Zaval. Let's get started. My preliminary observations show some kind of unknown stellar problem. This unexplored system near Ferenginar is undergoing solar death. Basically, it's as if the star is going out something, but there's no good reason why. We need to get close enough to take some readings and see what we can figure out.
I see. Helm, depart from Deep Space Nine. I would think now that it's good that they don't have the Deep Space Nine theme, but it would be excellent if you arrived at Deep Space Nine and you hear the Deep Space Nine theme like dee 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 dee. But yeah, that's no. And you can't copyright strike me for that, motherfuckers, because I did that. And to be perfectly honest, I've managed to... I haven't been actually... It seems as though... Well, I'm touching wood here, but I've been able to stream Star Trek Online for quite a few years now, and I haven't had any member of CBS come up and say hello. I don't think they really care because it's not really canon, so. But please don't arrive. Don't be dicks like Star Wars were. Well, technically Star Wars weren't the dicks. Sony Music were the dicks because they owned the soundtrack to Star Wars, and they don't like the Star Wars soundtrack being used. But LucasArts themselves didn't give a shit. Who did BioWare? It was any time there was a bit from the from some section from the films, and it's just like instantly, you have been copyrighted. This section has been copyrighted. I was like, I don't get enough viewers anyway, so yeah, go ahead, monetize it. I don't give a rat's ass. Not, but that was the early days. Anyway, we have a new respawn point. Interesting. So the unexplored system with a really strange looking star. So let's begin sunrise. So at some point I am going to revisit the what was left behind. So I'll probably do that at some point, just to put a nice bow on the Delta Quadrant. We've arrived in system about 0.5 AU from the star, sir. Still no indication on what's causing the stellar decay. Detecting only gas giants in the system. No sign of rocky planets other than the occasional moon of those of the Genovans. We're a little outside of optimal range, and we could probably get better resolution on the sensors if we nudge a few kilometers closer. Let's move in closer, get some reading on the star, and see if we can figure this out. I'm no stellar cartographer or whatever. But that looks like an A-class star.
Getting swamped with solar radiation. Try reducing the gain on your sensors. Initial results don't make any sense. The star's core reactions are failing, but it still has so much mass that it should be conducting fusion. It's as if it suddenly decided that it was no longer going to do hydrogen fusion, just heavier fusion processes.
Let's collect some stellar particles and see if we can find any clues with more detailed analysis.
This kind of matter is ejected during corona events. We should be able to collect some with your ship's ram scopes if we head to one of the ejection zones.
What's that? Point for the location and we can take some samples. Well, this ship's technically from the 27th century, so... it's never going to be in the first one you look at. I hate this minigame.
Results are coming in now. This still isn't making any sense. It's as if the star's life cycle was suddenly accelerated somehow, but it never went through an expansion cycle. There's no good explanation for this yet. Maybe something else in the system caused it.
What if this phenomenon affects other bodies in the system as well?
If this is system-wide, we should find evidence of similar problems, with nuclear and chemical reactions in the system's gaseous bodies. There's a large amount of gaseous stellar matter further from the star. We should have no trouble checking that hypothesis.
I have no idea what the hell she said there. Anyway, set a course for the next closest body in the system.
This is very strange. Usually nebulae are massive clouds between star systems. Finding a micronebula in system like this is quite rare. This may be the result of an event such as a cosmic string, shearing through a gas giant and turning it back into particulate matter. I'll need some more readings to know for certain.
Tell me the best places for scan.
All the particulate matter will make your ship's sensors unreliable beyond a few kilometers, and shields will be offline. The best we'll be able to do is to check small areas until we get close to something unusual. We should head to where the deionized particle density is highest.
Switch to short-range scanners. Now, our sensors are down, and also our shields are down, which is nice. I know what's going to happen here, so another mini game. Reading deionized particles, icy fragments, trace amounts of inert materials, picking up some low-level distortions, possibly from impulse engines. Another ship has been through here recently. Keep searching. If there's another ship here, we should see them. See if they know anything. Get quite annoying now. I know the shields are down. Stop telling me the shields are down. Reading indicates agitated particles and trace amounts. Reading energy search is probably something heading this way. Folians. Bloody folians.
Data is coming in now. Nothing unusual coming in from the nebula, but those Tholian ships were quite far from home. Unfortunately, they can't give us answers. It looks like there's some heavy ionization on the far side of the nebula, though. As if it's receiving some kind of reflected radiation from one of the gas giants.
So it calls for that gas giant. Hopefully our shields will come back. There's a large asteroid ring around this gas giant, so we're reading a few metallic asteroids and some low-level radiation, maybe some additional clues, but nothing concrete. There's a lot of small debris moving at high speed here, nothing we can't clear up with our weapons, but we'll need to make sure that they're not to miss. Let's hope so. Helm, stand by for evasive maneuvers, set course for the largest radioactive asteroid. Excuse me. There's quite a lot of techno babble in this one. This asteroid is mostly silicates, with a few small deposits of iron and magnesium, nothing particularly special. Another asteroid. No, I have never been hit by an asteroid in this. There's always a first. This asteroid has some zinc, copper and cobalt, plus traces of tungsten and mercury. A bit uncommon, but it doesn't give us any clues. Large amounts of nickel and some titanium and uranium, lots of silicon. There's something interesting, sir. This asteroid's been excavated along one side. Looks like someone used a primitive mechanical probe to crack part of the asteroid and remove some of it. Low grade warp signatures, nothing sophisticated. Something's been here, but probably not with the kind of technology that would explain the stellar's problems. Let's get a closer look at that get closer to that gas giant and its moon and see if we can find any other clues. What a beautiful looking gas giant. Love gas giants. They're probably the most spectacular planets in our universe. This is interesting. We're picking up several moons around this gas giant and some of them are inhabitable. Admiral, I'm picking up a comm traffic. One of these moons is inhabited. Why didn't we pick this up outside the system? There are thousands of background signals in space, many of them from civilizations we haven't encountered yet. Since the preliminary long-range scans of the system showed no Class M or L planets, it seems that nobody thought it would be inhabited. Our computers just classified these signals as ambient background until we were right on top of the transmitters. Universal Translators is updating now. Any signs of starships or bases? A few minor orbital facilities, significant industrial infrastructure, 8 billion inhabitants. So I'm picking up a few low power warp trails, nothing the size of a starship, maybe a handful of probes. There's evidence that we've come across an early warp-capable civilization here. Assume a non-threatening posture out of weapons range and open all comm channels. Let's establish a cautious but a conciliatory approach.
Greetings, unknown vessel. This is Administrator Kumar K. Please provide identification.
This is Admiral Devak Marcus of the RRW Talara. I represent the Romulan Republic.
Welcome to Lukari. Visitors here are rare, but we're always gratified by the chance to meet and exchange information with travelers. I regret that you have arrived at a difficult time. You may have noticed that our home star has become unstable. I'm leading a project to try to reignite the star. Unfortunately, we've already suffered severe disruptions, and we have a lot of problems to tackle right now.
You've had visitors from other species?
Yes, we've previously had contact with the Zenkethi and the Ferengi. We've heard a bit about the Teferi and the Breen, but they haven't ever been to our system. Our home world provides for all of our raw material needs, along with a few mining outposts around the asteroids and the gas giant. We've never had a compelling need to engage in space exploration. Now that our sun is going out, we're scrambling everything we've got to see if we can find a solution or a way to evacuate at least a few of our people.
We noticed the problems with your star. We came to investigate why this is happening.
These problems started only recently, just a few days ago. Our astronomers noted a significant shift in the star's output, and now it looks like it's guttering and dying. If we can't solve this problem, it's the end of our species. I'm the project leader for our solar probe team. We're going to try to restart fusion with a quantum chromodynamic accretion burst, but honestly, this is a colossal problem, and it may be beyond us.
My ship is part of a larger fleet. We have advanced technology and we may be able to assist you.
We have a solar probe ready that contains the booster module that needs to be fired into the star. It's capable of warp 2. There's a problem, though. The probe's remote navigation systems don't work. All of the interference from the solar flaring and guttering is blocking the signal. Could your ship get a trajectory plot so that we could set a pre-programmed course?
We'll look into it. We'll use our astrometric computer to plot. Right. Projection for the first point is bad. Moved it down. Angle to the second point is good. With adjustments you do want to make the probe trajectories. Point 1 should be at an elevation of minus 985. Oh. Right.
We're getting your telemetry now. I'll have my engineers prepare the probe. Let's see if this works. Nothing to worry about, just the future of my planet.
We'll hold position for you to launch your probe.
The probe's made it out of orbit. Engaging secondary boosters to head out of planetary range.
This is cool.
It's gone to warp.
We're in the system. Which is tracking trajectory.
The probe is arriving at the solar
Sensors
corona.
functioning in spite of
Deploying a
interference.
chromodynamic boot, no effect. It didn't work. Repeat, it didn't work. That was our one shot. Thank you for trying to help. I'm not sure what to try next. Maybe we can evacuate a few people. I'm not going to give up. But the situation is grim. If your people can offer any other help, we would welcome it. But I just don't see a way. to relocate 8 billion people in the next few hours?
We're not necessarily out of solutions. We might still be able to find a way to reignite the star. So none of the vessels entering the system is small, but we can't get a reading for its hull. Getting very strange readings from this ship. Can't read the interior at all. Right, how the new arrival?
My name is Caldano. Looks like I've arrived at the perfect time. I'm here to help with the problem with this star. I'm a scientist, and I have some specialized knowledge that can help.
Oh, that's going to be awkward, because we just seen you die. Only a few episodes back. Well, it's awkward. Well, we can't pollute the time. Can't pollute the timeline to tell him we know that. It's nice to meet you, Cal. Your help will be appreciated.
With apologies for the interruption, this is my home star. My people are the ones at risk here. If you have some way to reverse this process, my people should be involved.
Agreed. Since no other solutions has presented themselves, we should at least hear him out.
All right, I'm willing to do so, but it will take me a little while to get a shuttle out there. As you might imagine, things are a little hectic over here right now.
Don't worry. We don't need a shuttle.
You won't be able to get a lock on my ship interior due to the subspace manifolds. I'll go ahead and bring you aboard.
Ready for transport. Okay, time for a little bit of some Doctor Who referencing. Yay. Also, we can't tell Caldano we know about his death.
Welcome aboard. I'm Caldano.
You moved me here without crossing the intervening space. You have quantum teleportation technology.
Yes. We call it a transporter. It has a limited range, but it's useful for going from surface to ship.
Impossible! This ship's interior is massive, even though it's no bigger than a shuttle.
My ship uses compactified subspace folds. It's bigger on the inside.
Right now, though, we have bigger issues to handle. Yes, it's just basically his ship is the TARDIS. Okay? It's the TARDIS. Time and relative dimensions in space. Nerd!
This is all quite overwhelming. This Caldano person is another stranger from somewhere else. And you're here to help with our dying star?
Yes, we came to investigate the star and now we're involved.
Oh. Yes, I suppose I can see how a star suddenly dying might attract someone's attention.
As an officer of the Romulan people, I'm also interested in open dialogue with your people, but first we must solve the problem of your star.
It's an odd coincidence. We'd probably never have met if it weren't for the trouble with the star. My people have never really had any desire to go exploring out there. We've sent a few probes and met a couple of neighbors, but we're happy at home, and we have what we need, so why risk it? I guess this crisis answers that question. The galaxy is bigger than us. And to survive, we need to look past just our own world.
The Romulan people learned that lesson the hard way. Now we seek new allies so that we can build a better life and a better society.
It sounds like you have a lot of experience in meeting other kinds of people. Maybe if we survive this, we can take the chance and learn more about each other. To talk about what we might have in common and what we have to offer.
I'm sure my people will want to open relations. Your experience here will make you a natural choice to participate in those discussions.
What can I do to help? My home is at risk. I want to do something. To be involved in solving this problem.
Stay with Cardano. This is his ship, so he can probably explain it best. Indeed, it is his ship. Cal?
Welcome to my ship. Don't be alarmed. This vessel is from the 31st century, and it has some technology you may not recognize yet. I can assure you, though, that I'm here to help.
That explains why I wasn't able to scan through your ship's hull, or how you're able to have technology that can repair a dying star.
Correct. I'm associated with the temporal division of... well, let's just say that I'm an ally from the future, and I'm here to save the Lucari star.
So this involves changing the time stream. I've had enough of that recently.
No, I'm trying to prevent changes. Someone's tampered with this star. It's not supposed to die out here. The Lucari don't disappear today, at least not if we have any say in it. I have some technology that can help, but we'll need to rework it in order to repair the star's fusion processes. What I need you to do is help me align this matrix to match the star's original spectrum.
Could you explain it in some detail?
This matrix can adjust quantum induction fields, but restarting stellar processes isn't its normal use. This task should be simple. Go to each console and adjust the intensity of each color spectrum in the mix. When you have the right mix, the matrix on the center console should match the original color of the star.
Got it.
I'll regulate the device's main power state from this console.
The Toxu Tots. Current wavelength is 3.9, it's supposed to be 450 to 495. Right. So, while scanning, I got some data on Cardano. It's a little surprising. He seems to be a hybrid of human and Vulcan, and also a small amount of DNA from the people of this world. Apparently, at some future date, these people, the Lucari, have a stronger tie with the rest of the galaxy. So he's not just protecting his planet, he's also protecting his own ancestors from annihilation. This actually means he's probably more reliable. Let's finish repairing this star. Okay, let's do the red spectrum. And let's take it down. And lock.
Sounds like whoever tried to destabilize the Lucari stars decided to come knocking. Let's see who... They're packing a real wallop! Shields just went down! We have incoming!
Weapons ready, prepared to repel borders.
What are those things?
Phones.
Holy! Keep them away! I need to finish these computations! I have the device shielded in a force field, but I can't deploy it until these Polians are out of the way. Shields are back up! They shouldn't be able to get any more boarding parties over.
Okay, Folians. That's all we fucking need. The xenophobes.
We've got a breather. Now I just have to charge the device and prepare it for use. In just a few minutes, it'll propagate a quantum wave shift that should correct the star's stalled fusion process. You should head back to your ship, and I'll send the administrator back home. The device is charging. We should be just a few minutes away from repairing the star now.
Standing by.
Give us the talks, mutant. Surrender the talks, mutant, or you will be destroyed.
One more time. Shoot the
Bloody Tholians. I just prepared this ship last week. Bloody hell. They're an annoying bunch.
Firing in 3 seconds. Activating the rejuvenator.
It's working. Look at the star. Check the spectral readings. The fusion process is reigniting, and it's returning to normal.
Readings are stabilizing. The shockwave should be barely noticeable by the Lucari.
Some of those ships have just arrived at our home system. They're attacking our homeworld. We don't have any way to repel starships like this. Please help us.
On our way.
Please, you have to stop them. We don't have any warships or space weapons.
One thing that the Romulans hate, bullies. No, for someone from the 31st century, you really are bloody useless, aren't you? Okay, Doubt.
Thanks for the save, but the Tholians managed to steal the Toxutot while they had my ship whipped. That must have been their plan all along. My data suggests that the Tholians used a trilithium warhead to destabilize the star. But the amount of resources needed to build such a weapon makes it inefficient, to say the least. No, I suspect that somehow they knew that I'd come here to save this star. I would bring the Toxutot. Fortunately, the Lucari star is safe. However, nobody else will be as long as the Tholians have that device. They could use it to snuff out or destabilize stars anywhere they want.
We'll have to get it back from them somehow, but that means we'll have to figure out where the next target.
I have some thoughts on that, but I will need to do some calculations. These events and the Tox Utat itself are tied up in the temporal Cold War. The Tholians may not care, but by using the Tox Utat, they risk distorting the timeline by wiping out civilizations that are supposed to survive into the future, such as the Lucari. I'll be in touch. At least now the Lucari will have a promising future.
Understood.
Galdano is correct. You have preserved our future. My people will be forever grateful. Not to mention my personal gratitude, of course. I think we have a bright future ahead of us, if you'll forgive my play on words. I am eager to see where it leads. Thank you once again.
My people will contact you again soon. We have many matters to discuss.
I wish I could ask you about your science, your trade, your society. But I suppose there will be time for all of that now that our crisis has been averted. Won't there?
My people lost their home from the destruction of their star. Well, it wasn't. That's not true. No. It wasn't destruction of the Romulan star. It was a supernova from the Hobus star, which is sectors away. It's just the shockwave destroyed Romulus. Anyway, I hope that in averting this disaster, we have laid the groundwork for a place of mutual respect.
I think our friend the administrator here is going to need a ride home. Would you mind? If you'll pick her up and take her home, I'll start looking for more data about the Tholians' plans.
We'll rendezvous with you shortly.
I have collected an amazing amount of information about what happened to this star. Thank you for bringing me along. Once we're back in Allied space, I'll take a shuttle home.
This seems first contact with the Lucari has gotten off to a reasonable start. Now we have to hope that when the Tholians show up again with the Tox Utat, we can stop them from doing anything disastrous. We're already to lead the system on your orders, sir. It's the ship ranking up. It's taking that long. Interesting. What's the ship rank at? So. Oh damn, it's quite low. Let's sort that out. Anyway, it's HAL Command.
Your discovery of a nearby warp-capable species may be a boon to the Republic. We will open a dialogue immediately to discuss the possibility of trade. This time traveler and his quantum inhibitor, though, are potentially very dangerous. Republic intelligence will search for information regarding what the Tholians might be up to. In the meantime, keep your ship on ready status in case we need to respond quickly in order to find the Tox Utat.
He called it the Tox Utat. It's the Tox Utat. You do you, I guess. And we will pick phases. So back them down.
Greetings.
That is the end of part 89. When we return in part 90. Fucking hell, 90. Whew.
The Tox Utat.
Damn, 90 episodes. Whew. When we return in part 90, we'll be doing the mission Stormbound, and we'll find out what the Tholians' plans are for the Tox Utat, or the Tox Utat, or whatever the hell he wants to call it. The Admiral does, obviously, when he was recording, he had a cold. Anyway, on the Big B82, please subscribe, comments are welcome, and I appreciate any thumbs up as well. And I will see you in part 90. And of course, you can check out the other 88 parts of this in the playlist, all linked below, as well as other playlists, all the others that I've done, including my original, which was a Federation character, and all that stuff, and all the fun stuff, if you want to sit through over 100 other episodes of the Federation. Until then, John on True, and ciao for now. I've blabbered on long enough.